The next day, young Min woke up with the sunlight shining through his window. He sat on his bed still thinking about the strange winged woman named Ara. The feather she left behind on his windowsill was a mystery. He held it carefully in his hand. It was soft but strong. The silver shine on it was unlike any feather he had seen before. Young Min worked as an engineer in a small workshop near his apartment. He decided to take the feather there to study it. He wanted to know where it came from and why Ara looked so different from normal people. At the workshop, young Min put on his glasses and examined the feather under a small microscope. The feather was not like a bird's feather. It had tiny glowing fibers inside it. The fibers moved slightly like they were alive. Young Min touched the feather gently, feeling a strange energy run through his fingers. This is not normal, he thought. This must be something special. He took a small sample of the feather and ran some tests on it. The results were surprising. The feather was made of bioengineered material, part living, part machine. It was very advanced, more advanced than anything young Min had seen. He showed the results to his friend Hyejin, who was a hacker. Hyejin was smart and had many contacts. She could help find out more about Ara and where she came from. That night, young Min sent Hyejin a message. "I found something strange. Can you help me learn more about it?" Hyejin replied quickly. "Send me a photo. I'll check." Young Min took a clear picture of the feather and sent it. A few hours later, Hyejin answered. "Young Min, this is not just a feather. It's part of a secret project. I found some files about a group trying to create super soldiers using alien DNA." Young Min's eyes widened. "Alien DNA? Are you sure?" "Yes," Hyejin said. "They used winged creatures to make weapons. This feather looks like it comes from one of those creatures." Young Min felt a chill run down his spine. Could Ara really be an alien? Or something made by humans? And why was she outside his window, breathing heavily and scared? The next night, young Min waited by his window. He hoped Ara would come back. At midnight, he heard a soft sound. There she was, perched again on the windowsill, her wings folded close. Young Min opened the window slowly. "Ara," he said softly, "I want to help you. Tell me what happened." Ara looked at him with tired eyes. She climbed inside and sat down on the couch. "My people," Ara began. "We live far away from Earth. We have wings and can fly. We are strong and fast. But one day some humans came. They wanted to take us and use us as weapons." Young Min listened carefully. "They captured many of my kind," Ara said. "They experimented on us, changed us. Some of us did not survive." Young Min felt angry. Who did this? Who are they? Ara's eyes grew dark. "A secret group in the government. They want to control us and use our power." Young Min wanted to believe her, but the story was hard to understand. Still, he trusted her. She was sitting in his home, trusting him. "Why did you come here?" Young Min asked. "I escaped," Ara said. "But they are looking for me. I am weak now. I need time to heal." Young Min nodded. "You can stay here. I will keep you safe." Ara looked grateful but worried. "They will come soon. I feel it." For days, Ara stayed hidden in young Min's apartment. She was quiet and tired. Her breathing was heavy, but slowly, she started to get better. Young Min learned more about Ara's world. She told him about the sky cities where her people lived, high above the clouds. They were peaceful until the secret group arrived. One evening, young Min asked, "Can you fly?" Ara smiled sadly. "Not yet. My wings are weak. I lost strength." Young Min wanted to help. He looked at her wings, large and beautiful but bruised and torn. He knew he had to find a way to heal her. Meanwhile, Hyejin kept searching for information about the secret group. She found hidden files about experiments on winged beings like Ara. The files showed dangerous weapons and plans to control them. "Hyejin," warned young Min, "they are close. We have to be careful." One night, as young Min worked on a small healing device for Ara's wings, There was a loud noise outside. He heard voices and footsteps near the building. Young Min's heart raced. "Ara, hide," he whispered. Ara moved behind the couch, folding her wings tightly. Young Min looked out the window and saw shadowy figures with weapons. The secret group was coming. Young Min had to think fast. He closed the windows and doors, quietly. He turned off the lights and sat still, hoping they would not find him. The men outside stayed for a while, then left. Young Min sighed with relief. Ara came out from her hiding place. "They are looking for me," she said. "We cannot stay here long." Young Min nodded. "We will find a way to stop them." That night, Young Min and Ara planned their next move. They needed allies and more information. They could not fight alone. "You saved me," Ara said softly. "I will protect you too." Young Min smiled. "Together we are stronger." The next day, Young Min took Ara to meet Hyejin. Hyejin was surprised to see Ara but quickly helped them plan how to expose the secret group. "We need proof," Hyejin said, "and a way to protect Ara and her people." Young Min felt hope. For the first time he believed they could win. But the secret group was powerful, and time was running out. As the sun set over the city, Young Min looked at Ara. She was no longer just a mysterious visitor. She was a friend and a symbol of something greater, hope for a better future. Young Min woke up early the next morning. The city outside his window was already busy. Cars drove past, people walked quickly on the streets. But in his small apartment, his mind was full of questions about Ara, the winged woman who had visited him last night. He looked at the feather she had left behind. It was still on the windowsill, shining softly in the morning light. Young Min picked it up carefully. The feather was soft, but strong. He felt a strange energy coming from it. Young Min worked as an engineer, and he liked to understand how things worked, so he decided to study the feather. Maybe it would give him answers about Ara. At his workshop, Young Min set the feather on a small table. He used a magnifying glass to look at it closely. The feather was not like a normal bird's feather. The fibers inside glowed faintly, and they seemed to move just a little bit like they were alive. Young Min touched the feather gently. It felt warm, and he noticed tiny patterns on the surface. These patterns looked like circuits, small lines and dots like a computer chip. "This feather is special," Young Min thought. "It is part living and part machine." He decided to do more tests. He used a small machine to scan the feather's material. The results showed something surprising. The feather was made of bioengineered material. This meant it was created by combining biology and technology. Young Min was both amazed and worried. He did not know who could make something like this. And why would such a thing be outside his window? Young Min sent a picture of the feather to his friend Hyejin. Hyejin was a skilled hacker, and she knew a lot about secret things. Young Min hoped she could find some answers. That night, Young Min waited for Hyejin's reply. When his phone beeped, he opened her message. "Huge news," Hyejin wrote. "This feather is linked to a secret project. Some people are trying to make super soldiers using alien DNA and advanced tech." Young Min was shocked. "Alien DNA? Are you sure?" He replied. "Yes," Hyejin answered. "I found files hidden deep inside government servers. They show experiments on winged creatures like your visitor." Young Min felt a chill. Could Ara really be from another world? Or was she part machine, made by humans? And why was she here, breathing heavily and scared? He thought about Ara all night. He wanted to see her again, to understand her story better. At midnight, he heard a soft flutter outside his window. He looked up and saw Ara. Her large wings were folded close to her body, but he could see the muscles tense under her feathers. Her eyes looked tired but alive. Young Min opened the window slowly. "Ara," he whispered, "I want to help. Please tell me your story." Ara climbed inside carefully and sat down. She looked weak, but she smiled faintly. "My people live far from Earth," Ara said quietly. "We have wings. We fly high above the clouds. We are strong and free. Young Min listened closely, fascinated. But humans found us, Ara continued. They took many of us. They did terrible things, experiments and tests. They want to use us as weapons. Young Min's heart pounded. Who did this? Who are they? Ara's eyes darkened. A secret group in your government. They want power. They want to control my people. Young Min felt angry and afraid. Why are you here? I escaped, Ara said. But they chase me. I am hurt and weak. Young Min nodded. You can stay here. I will protect you. Ara looked grateful, but worried. They will come for me soon. I can feel it. For days, Ara stayed hidden, in Young Min's apartment. She did not speak much, but Young Min could see her breathing slow and her strength return little by little. Young Min studied her wings. They were large and beautiful, but bruised and torn. He wanted to help her fly again. One evening he said, Can you fly? Ara shook her head. Not yet. My wings are broken. I need time. Young Min felt a deep wish to fix her. I will help you heal. Meanwhile, Heejin kept searching. She found more files about the secret group. They planned to capture Ara again and use her to make more weapons. The group had soldiers, drones, and powerful machines. We are running out of time, Heejin told Young Min. They will come soon. One night, as Young Min worked on a device to help Ara's wings, he heard noises outside. Footsteps, voices, and the sound of metal clinking. Hide, he whispered to Ara. Ara moved quietly behind the sofa. Young Min closed windows and doors. He turned off the lights and held his breath. The secret group's men searched the building, but they did not find them. After a tense moment, the men left. Young Min and Ara waited until it was safe. They will not stop, Ara said sadly. They want me back. We will fight, Young Min said with a firm voice. I will not let them take you. Ara smiled, weakly. Thank you, Young Min. The next day, Young Min brought Ara to meet Heejin in a small cafe. Heejin was surprised but quickly helped them make a plan. We need proof to stop this secret group, Heejin said, and we must protect Ara and her people. Young Min nodded. We can't do this alone. Together, they decided to find more winged people like Ara. They wanted to help them escape. Days passed and Young Min felt a new strength inside him. He was no longer just an engineer, he was a protector. Ara was no longer just a visitor. She was a friend. At night, they looked out the window together. Ara stretched her wings slowly, testing her strength. Young Min felt hope for the first time, in a long while. Maybe, with courage and trust, they could win against the secret group. As the city lights flickered below, Young Min whispered, We will find a way. Ara smiled and breathed deeply. She was ready to fight for freedom and for a new future. Days passed since Ara came into Young Min's life. Each day brought new challenges and fears, but also hope. Young Min had never imagined his quiet life would change like this. Ara stayed hidden in his apartment. She was getting stronger. Her breathing became easier and her wings, though still weak, looked healthier. Young Min worked hard to help her heal. He built a small device with soft lights and warm air, hoping it would speed up her recovery. One morning, Young Min sat near Ara. She was stretching her wings slowly. The feathers shone softly in the sunlight. Can you fly now? Young Min asked carefully. Ara shook her head, but smiled. Not yet. Soon, maybe. Young Min smiled back. He wanted her to fly, to be free. But freedom was not easy to get. That afternoon, Young Min met with Heejin again. They sat in a quiet cafe, planning their next steps. We have to find others, like Ara, Heejin said. If we find them, we can protect them together. Young Min nodded. Where do we start? Heejin pulled out her laptop and showed him maps and files she had found. There are rumors of other winged people living secretly in the mountains north of the city. Young Min felt nervous but ready. Then we must go. They decided to visit the mountains. Young Min needed to see if Ara's people were real, and if they needed help. Before they left, Ara looked at Young Min. "Be careful," she said softly. "They watch me. They watch you." Young Min held her hand gently. "I will come back for you. I promise." The next day, Young Min and Hyejin took a small car and drove north. The city disappeared behind them, replaced by green trees and quiet roads. The mountains looked peaceful, but Young Min felt a strange tension in the air. After a few hours, they stopped near a small village. Hyejin used her skills to talk to locals without raising suspicion. They asked about winged people quietly. At first, the villagers looked scared, but an old woman whispered, "There are those who live on the mountain tops. They come at night." Young Min and Hyejin followed the old woman's directions. They walked up narrow paths under tall trees, feeling the cold mountain air. As the sun set, they reached a small cave. Inside, the air was cool and smelled like earth. Suddenly, a shadow moved near the entrance. A figure stepped out. It was a woman with wings, smaller than Ara's but still strong. Her eyes were sharp and cautious. "Who are you?" she asked. Young Min stepped forward. "My name is Young Min. This is Hyejin. We want to help you." The woman looked at them carefully. "Help? From whom?" Young Min told her about Ara and the secret group hunting winged people. He showed her the feather and the files Hyejin had found. The woman's face grew serious. "I am Mira. We have hidden here for years, but they keep coming." Mira led them deeper into the cave. Inside, more winged people lived, men and women, young and old. Some had scars. Some looked tired but hopeful. Young Min felt moved. These were real people, not myths. "We must protect you," Young Min said, "and stop those who hunt you." Mira nodded. "We need allies and weapons. We cannot fight alone." Young Min thought about his skills. He promised to help build defenses and alarms. That night, Young Min and Hyejin stayed with the winged people. They shared food and stories by firelight. Young Min learned more about Ara's world. The winged people had powers, flight, speed, and strong senses. But they were not soldiers. They wanted peace. Hyejin worked on hacking the secret group's systems. She found plans for a big attack on the mountain village. "We must warn them," she said. "They will come soon." Young Min felt a cold fear. The secret group was powerful and would not stop. Back in the city, Ara waited alone in Young Min's apartment. She watched the sky and wished she could fly to the mountains and be safe. Suddenly, Young Min's phone buzzed. It was a message from Hyejin. "Prepare to fight. They are coming." Young Min called Ara. "We found your people. They are in danger. We must go back." Ara stood, spreading her wings slowly. "I am ready." Young Min and Hyejin drove fast to the mountains. The sky was dark and clouds covered the moon. As they arrived, they saw lights from helicopters and trucks. The secret group was attacking. Mira and the winged people prepared to defend. Young Min helped set up alarms and barriers. The battle was loud and fierce. The secret group used machines and weapons. The winged people used their speed and flight to fight back. Ara flew for the first time in weeks. Her wings were strong now. She moved fast through the sky, helping her people. Young Min stayed on the ground, helping where he could. He felt proud but scared. The fight lasted all night. The secret group's soldiers were many, but the winged people were brave and fast. As dawn came, the secret group began to retreat. They knew they could not win this fight. Young Min and Ara looked at the sunrise together. The mountain air was fresh and clean. "We did it," Ara said, smiling. Young Min nodded. "But this is just the beginning." Mira came to them. "They will come again. We must be ready." Young Min looked at the winged people around him. They were tired but hopeful. "We will protect you," he said. "Together." Ara looked at Young Min with trust and hope. She was no longer just a visitor. She was part of something bigger. Young Min felt a new strength inside him. He was no longer alone. The winged people had found a friend in him, and he had found a new family in them. The hunt was far from over, but now Young Min and Ara were ready to fight, for freedom, for hope, and for the future. After the battle at the mountain village, Young Min felt a strong sense of purpose. He knew the fight against the secret group was not over. They had won this battle, but the war was just beginning. Ara sat beside him on a rock, her wings resting, quietly. She looked tired but proud. Her eyes were bright, full of hope. "We cannot let them hurt your people again," Young Min said firmly. Ara nodded. "We must be ready. Stronger than before." Young Min looked around the camp. The winged people were busy repairing their homes and helping the wounded. They were tired but determined. Young Min turned to Mira, who was organizing the group. "What do you need from me?" "We need weapons, defenses, and a way to warn each other quickly," Mira said. "The secret group will try again, and we must be ready." Young Min thought about the tools in his workshop. He was an engineer and he had ideas. "I can build alarms and small drones to watch the area," Young Min said. "We can use light signals to send messages," Hyejin smiled. "And I can hack their systems to slow them down." The winged people began to trust Young Min and Hyejin. They were no longer strangers, but part of the team. Young Min spent days helping build defenses. He taught the winged people how to use the small drones for watching the mountain paths. The drones were quiet but powerful, flying high and sending video to a screen. Ara trained her wings every day. She flew higher and longer, gaining strength. Young Min admired her courage. One evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, Ara told Young Min her story. "My people once lived in peace," she said softly. "But when the secret group came, they took many of us. I was captured and tested. They wanted to change me." Young Min listened carefully. "How did you escape?" Ara smiled sadly. "I used my wings to fly away. I was weak and hurt, but I did not give up." Young Min felt respect for her. She was strong in a way he had never seen. As days passed, the secret group continued to search for the winged people. Their attacks became more frequent and dangerous. One night, Young Min and Hyejin received a warning from a drone. Several armed vehicles were moving toward the mountain village. "Get ready," Young Min said to Ara and Mira. The winged people prepared. They hid the children and the wounded in caves deep inside the mountain. Young Min and Hyejin set up their drones and alarms. The night was dark and quiet, but tension was high. When the secret group arrived, they were surprised to find the village ready. Alarms sounded and drones flew overhead, shining bright lights. The winged people used their speed and flight to surprise the attackers. Ara flew fast, hitting the enemy's machines with her wings. Young Min watched closely, helping direct the defense. He felt fear but also hope. The battle was hard. The secret group brought bigger machines and more soldiers. At one point, Young Min saw a large machine move quickly toward the winged people's homes. It looked like a robot with weapons. He ran toward it, using a device he had made. The device sent out a strong signal that confused the robot's sensors. The robot stopped and fell. Ara flew to Young Min's side, her wings shining in the moonlight. "You saved us," she said. Young Min smiled, feeling proud. After hours of fighting, the secret group began to retreat again. They knew they could not win this time. The winged people cheered softly, but they knew the danger was not gone. Mira came to Young Min. "They will return stronger. We must find allies." Young Min agreed. "We need to tell the world about your people. They need to know the truth." Hyejin nodded. "I can help with that. I have contacts who can share our story." Young Min looked at Ara. "Are you ready?" Ara looked determined. "Yes. We will fight for freedom." The next day, Young Min, Ara, and Hyejin began to send messages outside the mountains. They used secure channels to reach journalists and human rights groups. Young Min felt nervous. Revealing the secret group's actions was dangerous, but it was the only way to stop them. Weeks passed and the world began to listen. Stories about winged people and secret experiments appeared in the news. People were shocked but curious. Some groups offered help. Scientists, activists, and others wanted to protect Ara's people. Young Min felt hope grow stronger. He knew the battle would be long and hard, but now they had friends. One evening, Ara and Young Min sat together watching the stars. "Do you think they will stop?" Young Min asked. Ara smiled. "They must. We will make sure of it." Young Min reached out and held her hand. "Together we are stronger." Ara leaned close. "Thank you, Young Min, for everything." Young Min felt a warm feeling inside. He knew his life had changed forever. From that night on, Young Min, Ara, Hyejin, and the winged people worked harder than ever. They trained, built defenses, and shared their story with the world. The secret group was still out there, but the winged people were no longer alone. They were rising, ready to fight, ready to be free. And Young Min was proud to stand by their side. The days turned into weeks. The story of Ara and her people had spread across the world. News outlets, social media, and human rights groups were now watching the secret group's actions closely. Young Min, Ara, and Hyejin stayed with the winged people in the mountains. They had built a strong camp protected by alarms and drones. The winged people trained every day, growing stronger and more confident. One morning, Young Min woke up early. He looked out over the mountain valley. The sun was rising, painting the sky with orange and pink. Ara stood nearby, stretching her wings wide. She smiled at Young Min. "Today feels different," she said. "I think something will change." Young Min nodded. "I hope so." The secret group was still dangerous, but the world's attention had slowed their attacks. People were asking questions, demanding answers. One day, a helicopter arrived at the mountain camp. Young Min, Ara, and Mira watched carefully as the door opened. A woman stepped out, a government official. Her name was Jiun. She was from a special peace department that worked to protect citizens from secret and illegal experiments. Jiun spoke softly but firmly. "We have heard your story. We want to help." Young Min felt hope. "What can you do?" Jiun smiled. "We will stop the secret group. They have broken laws. We will bring them to justice." Ara looked at Jiun with cautious trust. "Will your people protect us?" Jiun nodded. "Yes, you will be safe." Over the next few days, Jiun's team worked with the winged people. They set up stronger defenses and prepared to find and stop the secret group for good. Young Min helped design new equipment for the winged people. He created light armor and tools to protect their wings during fights. Ara trained harder than ever. She flew higher and faster, ready for whatever would come. One evening, as the sun set, Hyejin received a message. It was from her contacts in the city. "They found the secret group's main base," she said. "We have to move quickly." Young Min, Ara, Jiun, and the winged people prepared for the final fight. The secret group had hidden deep underground in an old factory. They had weapons, soldiers, and dangerous machines. Young Min and the team planned carefully. They wanted to stop the secret group without hurting innocent people. The winged people flew ahead, scouting the area. Ara moved quietly, her wings silent. When the time was right, Jiun's team and Young Min's group moved in. The battle was fierce. The secret group fought hard to protect their base. But the winged people used their speed and power to surprise the enemy. Young Min and Hyejin worked with Jiun's team to disable machines and capture soldiers. Ara flew through the dark tunnels, her wings glowing softly. She found the lab where the secret group kept captured winged people. She opened the cages, freeing her friends and family. Tears filled her eyes. "We are free," she whispered. Young Min stood by her side. "This is the end." After hours of fighting, the secret group was defeated. The soldiers surrendered, and the machines were shut down. Jiun's team arrested. The leaders. They promised to stop any more experiments and protect the winged people. The news spread quickly. People celebrated the freedom of Ara and her people. Young Min and Ara stood on a mountain top looking at the sunrise. "We did it," Young Min said. Ara smiled, her wings wide and strong. "Yes, we are free." Young Min felt a deep joy. He had helped save a new family and a new future. Ara looked at him and said softly, "Thank you, Young Min, for believing in me." Young Min smiled. "Thank you for trusting me." Together they watched the sky. The world was full of new hope. The winged people would no longer hide. They would live freely, fly freely. And Young Min knew one thing for sure. No matter what came next, they would face it together. Because sometimes the strongest wings are the ones we build with trust and friendship.